And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. Guys, I told you, Krusty is abroad. He is traveling because it's the off season for Chicago, and what else are we going to do? So we have Bree back. We're so excited.
I'm
One,
very
thank
excited
you,
to be here.
yeah, thank you so much for coming back on. And two, so much has happened. You've been doing so many things since the last
Oh
time we
yeah, I've had
talked.
like zero amount of sleep. It's actually insane, but in a good
That was
way.
going to be my first question with the NHL playoffs. Do you guys just ever sleep?
So I specifically, my full-time job is unique in the sense that I work the what we call the late shift.
Hmm.
Um, and in the playoffs, because overtime can go for infinity, that means I am at work till whenever said game ends. So the latest I've left so far was like last week, Vegas, Utah went to double overtime. So on the West Coast, that was like it started at 10. It started at 7 West Coast time, but 10
Right.
p.m. our time. I didn't leave the office until almost 3 in the morning because the overtime went that long, and it was only not even two full overtimes, but it
Right.
was it's a time. So I'm it's constant and like so many games this year have been going to overtime that I'm like, could we just end like either score in the first 5 minutes, like don't make it past one. I don't need another. Thank you very much. And the West Coast ones are the worst for me because they start late, they go later.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was the first round especially. I was like, oh my god, I feel like a zombie because I would like go home, I would sleep, I'd get up, and the next day it'd be like the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been good. I want to say I've probably slept enough, but I don't. I still don't feel like I have. I probably won't till like the cup is won, and I'm like, we're in the fully in the off season. But it's been a journey, as
Yeah, but
always.
then are you guys like are you personally like does the draft get super bananas for you?
Not really. I've
Okay.
worked all of them because so like our again we as like at Read Between we cover the draft very
Yeah.
like hey it's happening here's what's going on. At my full time job we usually send people there because we cover it.
Yeah.
And I learned very fast the first year I did it, which was 2023. I can't believe it was my fourth draft. First round is like totally cool, like
Yeah.
takes 3 hours, but like, it's, who's going where, super easy. The second day, when you're going rounds 2 through 7, it's like you're running a marathon, but sprinting because they're just like yelling out people's names immediately. And it's like, the craziest experience ever. I was like, oh my god, like the first round seems so chill in comparison, and then the next day it's like the most wild thing ever. But it's not really that crazy. I think the worst part about that one is that it starts pretty early because like
Mhm.
after round one, rounds 2 through 7 is an all day thing,
Yeah.
so it ends up being like a long process, but it's not as insane usually. So
My least favorite, because we'll like meet up like me and my dad usually for draft weekend just to do
oh, I
like
love that.
podcast stuff. We live for the draft. That's how you can tell how bad our team is. Uh,
It's okay. One day you
we
won't have to do that. So like, you might as well do it now.
exactly.
Get it in and then like look back and be like, "Wow, remember when that was us?" You don't have to do it anymore.
So we love the draft, but the most stressful thing for us is when they start going off the board
Yes,
with
that's
picks, and I'm like,
yes.
who is this person? They're not in my paperwork.
Yeah, we
What
uh,
page are they
we're
on in the Elite Prospects
we
book?
get like a pack. It's like 250 pages of like every kid ever that could be picked. And I think last year we had somebody picked that like pretty high up, like in the third round, that was legitimately nowhere. And I was like, okay, cool. So like then they're looking at me because I'm in research. They're like, do you know anything about this kid? And I'm like, no, I have no idea where it came from. Like no idea why he was picked this high, whatever. But those are stressful in the fact that like sometimes you're just like, what in the world? Like where did you come
Yeah.
from? Why are you here? Like how did everybody miss you? Like, but then I'm also interested in the teams that pick them, like what their strategy is, because I'm like,
Oh
how
yeah.
did you know? Or like what were you doing? So yeah, I love it, but it's not as I think cup final, like playoffs cup final is crazier. Like the draft, I like kind of we're like already winding down, but it's just one of those things where we're just like, okay, 2 day thing, we're gonna do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's an experience for sure. Just kind of getting all of it to move in the same part, but it's fun.
No, when Chicago did it here back in like 2017, which is still like just wild watching some of these
Yeah,
playoff teams, and I'm like, oh, I was there when Cale Makar got drafted.
it's
Right.
crazy.
But it was just like the feeling like you're just sitting in front of people or sitting behind
Mm,
people where it's like you are watching children's lives
yep.
change. Like it's
Like
wild.
their ultimate dream just come true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And just like what, because back when Chicago did it, it was still like everybody had their own table, and so like
Yeah,
being able to try to like watch everybody, like who's talking to who. And I think at that point our head coach and our general manager were fighting with each other, so it was just like
that's
their
so
guys were on one
funny.
side of the table and then the other.
Oh my God, it's like a reality TV show. Like, no, we should take this kid or this kid, and they're just arguing about it. That's so funny.
And oh, this made me think. So complete other tangent. Um, you've seen Ted Lasso, I'm assuming.
I have not. I've seen parts of it. I have to
Well,
watch it.
you need to watch.
I'm aware of
Um,
most of the premise of it.
but
Yes.
the guy who plays Coach Beard, like Ted, like Jason Sudeikis' character, right
Yeah.
hand man, he was doing like a stand-up show here in Chicago, and it was the night of the NFL draft. And so
Oh,
there was the like, hey, silence your phone, turn off, like, make sure you turn off your phone because we don't need to hear the like, da-na-na, da-na-na
yeah.
notification because it's the NFL draft. And he comes out and he's like, honestly, I don't understand why people watch the draft. It's a job fair.
Wait, that's actually really true.
Right.
Like, they're just,
He's like,
it's
why are
kind of
people
giving
so
like,
invested into a job fair? And I'm like, shit, I love the NHL
yeah,
draft,
but
but you're
like,
not wrong.
it's true,
Yes.
but also in the sense of like, in the weird, messed up sports way, like, you are invested in what your team is doing, so you want to know who they end up picking. But that is really, yeah, it's just a bunch of 18-year-olds who are just getting their first job. Like, that's actually a really funny way of looking at it.
Yeah.
That's
No, when
good.
he
I
said
love
that, I
it.
was like, you're right, but also I am too invested
Yeah.
in this.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but speaking of playoffs
Yes.
being the absolute banana time that
That
we
it's
are,
been.
what are your thoughts of what's been going on in the playoffs so far? Like round one going into round two. I know your team had an absolute wild game last night.
Yeah, so, yes, I am an Avs fan if anybody is not aware. Kind of odd because I live in New Jersey, so when most people meet me, they're like, "You're a Devils fan." I'm like, "No, actually." Um, I so I explain this as I usually make a two brackets every year.
Hmm.
I make what I call my practical bracket, where it's like everything I know will probably happen. And then I make my delusional bracket, where it's like, this is what I want to happen.
Right.
This year I didn't make two, I made one. And it ended up not going well for me already because
Okay.
I. So I got Buffalo, Montreal, moving
Hmm.
on. I did pick Carolina, unfortunately. But I picked Pittsburgh. And I put Pittsburgh all the way into the Eastern Conference Final, which obviously I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, it's Sid. It might be Sid's last year. I want him to get another cup.
You're thinking it's Sid,
That's
and
that.
Sid can do
Yes,
anything.
exactly. So I was very devastated watching the game six between them and the Flyers. So whatever. On the West, I did pick Minnesota over Dallas, which most people didn't. But I did that selfishly because I did not want the Avs to play Dallas again. So I purposely picked Avs Minnesota. And then I got the Pacific completely wrong because I picked the Oilers, which was stupid, and then I
I
picked
think most
Utah.
people pick the Oilers.
Yeah, but like I should have known the Ducks could have done it. And I picked Utah just because I wanted Utah to go farther, and I just didn't
Yeah,
want Vegas in it anymore.
same.
And neither of those happened. So I like I put Utah all the way in the Western Conference Final. So I was just like, yeah, you guys are gonna win and go all the way. So I don't want to say a lot of it's happened exactly as I thought, but some of it has, some of it hasn't, I think. But I think it's very exciting to me, especially in the East Coast so far, that like we're all getting new teams. Well, new teams. Like
Yeah.
no team from Florida will be in the Eastern Conference Final this year for the first time in like almost 7 years, which is crazy. And like I'm living for that because I love when it's new.
Yes. Oh,
I don't
100%.
want to say fresh blood, but like at a point, it's like, okay, I've seen you enough. I want somebody else to be in here. So I think
Exactly.
that's going to be very exciting, especially with Buffalo and like Montreal in the mix. It's crazy.
Sure.
Yeah. So like
Those games are
I'm
going to be
just
insane.
it is, and I'm just, but I think that makes the playoffs better. So I
Yes.
would rather have them be like teams that are either trying to make it back the first time in a while or whatever it is. So it's been crazy, but I feel like crazy in a good way. However,
Mhm.
it's been panning out so far. Um, but yeah, that's I think where I'm at.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that I just like to see it's boring to watch the same.
Yes,
I'm like if I'm going to get Edmonton versus Florida once again,
I
like
actually would have cried.
no.
It would have been
No.
like,
And
please.
Edmonton better win. Like
Yeah,
I need different things, but I'm also under the stubborn persona of like because my team didn't do a three-peat, then no team can do a
yeah,
three-peat, so
that's
we
so
need
real.
a different team. Um Yeah, my bracket is so done because I think I had Dallas winning it all, but that's just
Whoa, that's also feel like a still valid
I
pick.
Dallas I hate playing against them during the year because of course
Yeah,
they're in the Central with Chicago, but there's just so many individual players on that team that I'm just like I just want you to do well.
yeah.
I just want you to like Jake Ottinger just deserved to like have a good postseason after the chaos that was last
Last year,
year
yep.
and Pete DeBoer just throwing him under the bus. I'm like, you just need to have like a good time. But the East will be entertaining. I think for the like the Battle of Pennsylvania, I was honestly like, I'm unsure. I can see both of these teams winning, but I can also see both of these teams like fully goofing up,
Yeah,
causing the other team to win.
exactly. I just also like a lot of people talk about how easy it is on the East to get to the Eastern Conference Final. Um, I also felt bad whoever won that Battle of Pennsylvania had to play Carolina next. And I was like, if that was me, I'd be like, you know what? You can have that. I'll let you go. Like, I'm not gonna even try. I don't want to play them.
I
So
don't
that's
want
like the downfall. I guess that's playoff format, but
yeah.
like it still sucks because even if like for the Flyers, you're like, oh, you made it this far, but here you go. You gotta play
Yeah.
Carolina now. Like,
Well, and I definitely like my heart definitely went out to Tampa too, just because
yeah.
I that was one series, Tampa Montreal. I kept going back and forth every like 10 seconds because there's
Oh, I
four
agree.
Blackhawks on either team that I was just like, yeah, like Kirby Doc should be playing hockey. Yay, we love Brandon Hagel. But there's always a couple that in the first round where it's like this could easily not like legitimately because of format, but like competitively, this could
Yeah.
be the like conference final
Yeah, and that's what a lot of
because
people
of
said
how good it
about Dallas, Minnesota. Could easily have been a Stanley Cup final
is.
if
Yeah.
it was lined up that way. So, but yeah, and Montreal Tampa was not the one I expected to go to 7 games, but I'm kind of glad it did because it was a very good,
That was fun.
it was an
That was
entertaining series. Yeah,
that was
so
crazy. But now
I'll
we get
take it.
Montreal and Buffalo, which will be
So I'm so
absolutely
excited for that one. Like I can't wait.
because you know then all of Toronto is going to be backing
Yes,
Buffalo.
yes, and they're just gonna
Takes
be
on
like, I don't want
Montreal.
nothing to do with you, Montreal. Like, but like the city of Montreal and just playoff hockey, I'm so excited to see how they get to handle all of that and experience that. So, and Buffalo too, because Buffalo hasn't, like they haven't been here since 2007.
However,
Like,
yeah, Buffalo. That's probably the one team where it's like how whoever you beat, fine, that's
yeah,
fine. You could
like
go up
you just
against
made
my
it here.
team,
Yeah.
fine.
Yep. Exactly.
I just you can win. Um, who do you? Okay, so both of our brackets are kind of a bit wonky, but who do you think goes to kind of the Western Conference? Like, what's your Western Conference and your Eastern Conference final
Yeah.
prediction matchups now?
My
Re-bracketing.
so my Stanley Cup final is still intact
Amazing.
currently. My Eastern Conference final, I made it Canadiens Pens. Obviously, does not work out, so I'm just gonna shift it to be Habs Canes, which is a horrifying matchup. I don't like that. Um,
Okay, Montreal takes it. Carolina can't go
yeah,
past
exactly.
it.
Um, and in the West, I had it Avs Utah. Obviously, Utah's gone. I'm hoping it's Ducks, because again, I just want Vegas to
Vegas
be
out.
shown
Yeah.
the door. I don't want to see them anymore. And then my final was Avs Canadiens. Yeah, that was because I was building it and I was like, this feels crazy, but like also would be an insane Stanley Cup
That would be
final.
great.
Yeah.
That would be very, very great.
So
Yeah, I think the Buffalo Canadian Habs one is the where I'm like,
it's so
guys,
bad.
it
I know
could
it's
be
horrible.
either.
Yeah,
Um, Kane's definitely sorry, Philly.
I
Thank
know.
you for showing up. Um, Anaheim, yeah, I'll probably have the Ducks over Vegas one just because I'd like to see Vegas Golden Knights get eliminated. And there's so many young kids on Anaheim
I
too
would
that
say it'd be so cool for Anaheim to make it that far.
I'm like Lucas Dostal, you should go to the Western Conference Finals because
Yeah.
you've been playing out of your mind this
Yep.
season.
Let like reward them, please. Let them go that far.
Yes. And as someone who is cheering for Dallas, your Colorado Avalanche has to take out the Minnesota Wild.
Yes. That's what so many people have said. They're like, now I'm cheering for them because they want the Wild gone. I was like, don't worry. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
We're just jumping different
Yes, which is
allegiances.
exactly how it goes. Like that's how it should like, shifting
Yes.
to who needs to eliminate who. But
Oh, definitely. I think my allegiances change depending on the day.
it's okay.
I'm
It's
like,
normal.
I have no loyalties. But yeah, no, should be. I'm excited for this upcoming round. I'm gonna
I
miss
know.
having like 4 games in a day because that
Yeah.
was just like great to go back and forth and back and forth. But this should be a very fun matchup. But shifting over because we got P-Dub postseason,
We
and
do.
speaking of P-Dub, I need to hear about Madison Square Garden first and foremost because you looked like you were having a ball. Everyone looked like they were
Yeah.
having a ball. Tell me everything.
So, for anyone who doesn't know or isn't aware, the PWHL played their first ever game at Madison Square Garden, actually exactly a month ago today, as we're recording this. Um, Completely sold out. 18,006 people were there. It was set a new U.S. attendance record for a professional women's hockey game, and it was between the New York Sirens, who full-time play at the Prudential Center in New Jersey, and then the Seattle Torrent, who were one of the two new expansion teams this season. Um, I still like a month on don't even have words for it because it was just so like I think there's two parts of this because so I grew up in New Jersey and I my first ever NHL game almost a lot of the NHL games I still go to have always been at MSG
Yeah.
because I grew up a Rangers fans, my family are Raiders fans, so I being able to work a game there and to cover a game there just as myself, I was like, oh my god, this is like
Yeah.
legitimately insane just because of the history of the building and everything I've got to do there, like event wise. It was just that part like blew my mind that I was like in the press box of Madison Square Garden and I was like, this is bonkers. Um, on the game side, I have going off that I've been to plenty of concerts and NHL games, Rangers games at MSG. I have never ever heard that building as loud as it was for this game
Amazing.
than anything else. Like the only thing I could compare it to um was when I saw Harry. I've seen Harry there a bunch of
I
times,
was
Harry
just, I'm
Styles.
like, is it
And
louder than Harry?
yeah, it was like that. The only thing I could compare it to level wise was when I saw Harry, because like that was how
Yeah.
deafening it was inside when they were cheering. Um, and it was just it was the craziest thing to experience it to be there, but it was definitely a game I don't think I'll ever forget, but it was like even talking to all the players, they were like, that's top three. Like some of the players in the Sirens have won like multiple national championships. They've won,
Right.
like they've gone to the Olympics. And during like exit interviews, almost all of them were like, that's like a top three highlight of my entire career. Which I think speaks to like the how important and how big it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like all around the most insane night. like from start to finish, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So yeah, I don't even have word. I just don't have a word. I'm like, it was just crazy. It was just amazing in the sense that like women's hockey can sell out a building of that capacity, of that historic, and like people will show up for the league and hockey in that sense. But
Pretty
it
sure that
was
game had a higher capacity than any Ranger game did.
yeah, like I had chills. Like they always come out to every home game, I think since they've been a team, they always come out to Welcome to New York by Taylor Swift. And hearing them, like, they introduced the Sirens and they played that song for them to come out to warm-ups, I, like, immediately was like, I'm going to start crying. I was like, I'm going to cry. I'm going to start crying. So it was just, yeah, like, the actual game, like, before the game, we got to talk to Billie Jean King. She gave us, like, the rundown on everything the league was doing. First intermission, we got to meet Caroline Harvey, who, if you also don't know, she'll be one of probably the first overall draft pick in June.
Yeah.
And it was just like the amount of people that showed up, like celebrity wise, like the way the crowd was, and yeah, it was genuinely insane. Like it was so cool to just see the P-Dub on that scale, but to be a part of it was just yeah, indescribable because I really don't have a word for it.
That's incredible. Yeah, it also, I mean, granted, I was on the outside, over on the other coast in Seattle while all of this was going on. But the amount of people that at least I saw on social feeds that it wasn't just the New York area sold
Yeah,
out. Like the amount of people that flew from all over, if they were, like, regardless if they were like Siren or Torrent fans specifically, like it was just every P-Dub fan flying out to Madison
yeah,
for that game.
yeah. Because I think like obviously it was considered a Sirens home game, but I think just the idea that it was being played at MSG,
Yeah.
so many people were like, I need to go. I need to be
Mhm.
there because of how big it was. So there was definitely a very large mix of fans that were there for like supporting the Sirens. I don't think I saw any Torrent merch. I'm so sorry to Seattle.
That's
Um,
okay. During the takeover tour in Chicago, I'm pretty convinced it was a Seattle Torrent home game because it
See,
was
like so
just the entire barn was just
exactly.
wearing Torrent merch.
So it was very like, and the cool thing was that like when they introduced all the players, they introduced everybody, and Hillary Knight obviously got like an insane roar, and everybody cheered for like everybody on Seattle, but they cheered for everybody on New York, and then like halfway through the game, the crowd was like, "Oh, we're supposed to like not like that team," and then they started booing Seattle, and then it was like a whole thing. But in the beginning, it was like they were just like everybody was just happy to be there and happy to see it. And of course, Hillary Knight is just like Hillary Knight, like you know who she is. So it was kind of cool to see like the shift of just being like, yeah, we're here for this women's hockey game, and then immediately being like, oh, I want our team to win.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna start like not liking or rooting for you. So it was really really cool, just the dynamic of it. And again, I don't think I've been in that building so many times, and I don't think I've ever heard it
that loud.
anywhere as loud as it was for that game, which I think is crazy to say, but it's true.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Absolutely phenomenal. Now I know you typically watch a decent amount of Sirens, but the
I do.
Sirens are not in the playoffs,
Yes,
unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Do you have a team that you're kind of jump or
Yeah, so
cheering for in the playoffs,
I do
or
this every year,
Mhm.
almost for the same reason I just said for Sid, um, Montreal, because I
Okay,
want Pooh to
win?
win the cup, to just like say she's done it, have it on her resume, so when she decides to retire, she said that she's done it.
Yeah,
Um, I'm also in the boat that I don't need Minnesota to win it again.
that's fair.
You've got it twice. I'm okay.
Ignore this. This is
It's not.
specifically
I'm
for
not.
Kendall
Yeah, no.
Coyne.
It's I. Yeah, I don't think I'm always like super committed, but I do think I'd love to see Montreal win it
Yeah.
just for the sense of like also again like in Canada that market goes insane for anything hockey related, but I just want
And I
Poulin to
think,
have it on her resume to
well,
say she's done it and to have it done.
especially for how wonky her Olympic journey ended up
Yeah,
being this year, like, she needs to win.
exactly. And
She
every
needs
year
to win.
every year I'm like, stop. Like just let her I need her to win one. Like just one. Just one. I felt the same way about Hillary and now that like when she was in Boston it was a little more achievable and it's
Mhm.
I don't think possible now that she's well, I'm not gonna say that about Seattle, but like there's always next year. Um so yeah, I always kind of stick Montreal and then after that I'm just kind of rooting for whoever, but um I would like to see someone different win it this year cuz
Yes.
I know we're only 3 years in, but um I think it'd be cool to kind of have the like have another city and another team experience what it's like to win the Walter Cup. Um, but we'll see. But I usually always automatically go to Montreal, and then if Montreal moves on, I
Mhm.
stick with them. If not, I'm like, okay, now I have to figure out who I'm gonna pull for.
I definitely think, I mean, yes, I have the Toronto hanging on my wall, but that is so, because Chicago doesn't have a
I
team,
say they're the closest to you, right? Would
they're
be
the
Minnesota.
closest to
Yeah,
me, and Kendall Coyne technically
yeah.
is like employed by the Blackhawks for player development, and she was
Mhm.
always just like around in Chicago. So when the PW, came to be, I was like, well, what team is Kendall on? So this is
Yes,
really just a giant
and that's
Kendall
a
Coyne
perfect.
support.
Yeah, that's a perfect excuse to root for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, and I'm like, especially when the original six came out, I was like, well, I don't want to cheer for like an East Coast team. I'll go
Yeah.
American. I'm like, all right, there's one Midwest team. But I do think it would be nice to have a different team, win, because I think it'll also show that like the way that everything's set up, like it's working.
Yes.
Like
I
it's
also agree.
it's boring if just one team is going to win
Yeah.
absolutely everything. And I think, yeah, another team should win. I'm having an absolute blast watching the Boston Ottawa
Oh,
match.
it's been
It's
so
just a
good.
battle of goaltenders.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I also think Boston is another one that I wouldn't mind winning just because they're crazy. They're so
Yes.
good. And like not that I don't want to say I don't know why they haven't won it cuz again Montreal like Minnesota has, but it'd be really cool again following this year and what they've done to see them win it this year would be really really cool. So, but that series alone right now has been
I think it's insane.
yeah.
Especially because I think with the Olympics, everybody being like Aaron Frankel, and yes, Aaron Frankel in
Yes.
my eyes is the true Vesna winner.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vasilevsky. Aaron Frankel is the true Vesna winner, but it's like Gwyneth Phillips has the ability to stand on
Which
her
she did
head.
that last year. She
Yes.
did it all last year. Yeah.
I'm
And I
like,
feel like
no,
people were
she's
just forgetting
also
about it.
insane. It's just
Yeah.
insane versus insane, and I love it.
Oh, literally. It's a goalie off.
It is a goalie off. I'm like, it sucks that one of these goalies is gonna get knocked out
I know.
because it's best on best.
But that's also how I feel like the league's kind of in a good place because, you have two teams in that what is a semifinal for the PW
Yeah,
with an amazing goaltender in the back, which is so great. Like that's a really great sign that you've built a really good team and you have all the pieces, but yeah, it does suck thinking only one of them can move on, but it makes for a very good semifinal
yeah.
for those two teams together. Yeah,
Oh, for sure. Um, Flipping to because the Sirens are not in the playoffs, but
yeah,
they have the opportunity to snag a really good hockey player with the
yes,
upcoming PW draft.
yeah.
Are you hoping? I mean, I don't think Caroline Harvey is going to fall to three, but is there
No,
anyone that you're kind of like fingers crossed, hoping that maybe people
I
in Seattle pass on?
yeah, I also like this is the worst part is we don't really when again exit interviews like the Sirens don't really know where they're picking because we don't really know what
Hmm.
the draft looks like, what expansion looks like, whatever it might be. So if it is third, which would
Yeah.
be, you know, where they would fall traditionally if nothing
Yeah.
changes, um, I would absolutely love Layla Edwards. I would love her to be on the Sirens. I think she'd be a really great fit. It'd be really good to have. I just think it'd be not only big. This is the worst part too. Is that like the Sirens have had two straight first overall picks,
Right.
so it's kind of like, oh, like you like the excitement that comes, but like you've had two of them already that have come, that have been selected first overall. They had a third overall last year because they traded up.
Yeah.
So I do think, if I feel like Vancouver would be stupid not to take Harvey, and if
Yeah.
they don't, I don't know what they're doing if they don't do that. Um, but I do think I would love it. I would love Layla Edwards at 3 if she's still there. Um, so that's what I'm keeping my fingers crossed for, hopefully. But I don't think I'd be mad. Like, it's such a deep draft class this year that I don't think I'd
It's like,
be
oh, which
upset.
Olympian do I want?
Yeah, like, oh, which one? Yeah, like, but I know a lot of people have kind of come to that consensus where it's like Layla Edwards, and I'm like, yeah, actually, and like, we got Casey O'Brien last year, and Casey O'Brien played with her at Wisconsin, so like, there's a lot of the connections. So I was like, I will absolutely take Layla. Like, if she's there, Sirens, please. Like, one request, and that's it.
At
But we'll
New York
see.
Sirens, please take Layla.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't expect Vancouver, Seattle to like go off the board for the top two. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but also who knows with the expansion. And
Yes.
our expansion is different this year than it has been in years past, which I was like trying to read through it and I'm like, okay, let's make this even
Yeah.
more
I'm waiting
confusing.
for like the
Right?
league to just be like, here's actually what's happening, because I'm like, I need you to explain it to me like I'm 5, because
Yes.
the way I'm like seeing stuff, I'm like, this is making my head hurt, and I don't get it. Like, I get it, but also I'm like, okay, so this and this and this and so we'll see. I'm hoping that also comes with like what how the draft is being formulated and all of those things. So it doesn't, like, I don't know how it will impact if we get 2 or 4 new teams. Where do those 2 or 4 new teams fall in
Right.
the draft order, stuff like that. So it's all like up in the air. But if they stay in third, I would love the Sirens to pick Layla Edwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Please
for
listen
coming
to
to my
me.
TED Talk.
Yeah, exactly. But
Speaking of expansions, because we're all just wildly speculating until the PW
yeah,
announces which cities, which I personally am like, can you just please
I
tell us
know.
now? Are there cities that you want, hopeful for to come for next year?
I think the one that's crazy to me that hasn't gotten one yet is Detroit. I don't understand. Like, I do understand, but I don't understand how they have probably had the most takeover tour games to date, and they've always done really well, and they don't have a team yet.
Yeah.
Um, so that I feel like was one that I'm surprised didn't get one, but I think this time they should. Also, because then like you have them in Montreal, or not? I keep saying Montreal, Minnesota.
Yeah.
So you have two relatively close, if that's the case. Um, I know Denver did really well with their two. I think that'd be really good out there. Um, I don't know if the league would do that immediately, just to be like, you had two really great takeover tour games. Um, but I do think it'd be fun to have a team there, also to add to the West Coast. Like,
Yeah.
you're not fully on the West Coast, but it is close enough on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. It sounds really bad. I don't know if any of the Canadian ones this year did amazing. Because I know they've tried to keep like 2 Americans are at like when we got Seattle, Vancouver, it was one in America, one in Canada. And to say if like they were to add Denver, they'd probably add either Edmonton or like Winnipeg or something,
Right.
because they're in the same stretch. But I think like, yeah, Denver and Detroit, I think would be an easy two, and then I know Chicago, a lot of people, everybody on the internet wants a team in Chicago, which is crazy. Like, every time someone is, like, talking about an expansion team, they're like, Chicago. And I'm like, okay. Um, so that would be fun. I also think DC would be a really good
Thank you.
market. And I don't know if I'll do it this time, but I do think they should keep that one in their back pocket. So if I had to name four, I would give them those four.
First off,
Sorry,
I love that
Canada.
you
There should be more Canada,
also
but
I love that you also picked DC because I
yeah.
have been shouting from the rooftops that DC needs one. I think outside of San Francisco, they have like the largest female sports market. So I'm
Yep.
like, it's already there.
Yes.
And
And that game did so well when they played there. So well.
yes, and I think not that they should really care about the drama going on in the NHL because very two separate things.
Yes.
But if Ovi's done, I think this
Yeah.
kind of you need something in DC to like carry
Transition.
hockey momentum
Yeah.
because
That's
it's
actually
a
a really good
not
point.
like traditional hockey market.
Yeah. That is a good one. I think 'cause too, like, the excitement would just be, it wouldn't completely shift, but it would shift enough to be like, hey, this is happening. This is
Right.
new.
Like,
Yeah. And I also think,
yes,
like, everybody, a lot of the talks, like, the travel of, like, between the teams, and, like, DC isn't that far away. So if you add it in, it's all relatively close to everything else going on. So, yeah, again, I feel bad I didn't say anything. I don't know about any of them in Canada because I know, like, I feel like all the major ones got, like, Montreal has one, Ottawa has one, Toronto has one, Vancouver has one now. So, like, the only three that are missing and have an NHL team. Who am I missing?
Edmonton,
Edmonton, Winnipeg,
Calgary.
and Calgary. Sorry. So they're all in the same spot. So, like, one of those three,
Yeah,
maybe.
I do. Denver would be a fun one. And I think they do need like some sort of halfway, or not even if it's like a true halfway point,
But,
but like
like,
something in
in the
between
middle.
Minnesota
Yes.
and the Vancouver and Seattle's.
Yeah. And that's why I think, like, adding Denver or Edmonton or one of the Canadian cities up there would make it a little bit of a halfway point. Because, like, if you were to go on a road trip, then you'd have, okay, you start in Minnesota,
Right.
and then you do your two in whatever you want to call that. It's not Midwest, but, you know, that stretch of,
Mountain area.
yeah. And then you go to Seattle, Vancouver, so it's not as, like, a direct, like, 6 hours all the way out. I just know, like, a lot of people in Denver were super excited. Like, they loved those two games they had out there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm more interested to see what, like, the league picks because I thought last year Vancouver, Seattle came out of nowhere. Because I know, like, both those games did really well, but they only had, like, one takeover tour game, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, poor Detroit over there has been waiting for, like, since the league was born to have a team. So we'll see. But I think it'll be exciting. I'm more nervous about how they're filling in said teams, more than I am where they are. But
Does
I'm always
Hillary
excited.
Knight
I
move
say it
again?
every time that, like, I get to experience the PW almost all the time because New York is in my backyard. So I love when they name a new team because I just love when other people get to experience it. Whether it's a takeover tour game or, like, they are permanently there now. So I'm always like, I want you all to, like, feel it because it's so great and I love it. So I'm always just happy wherever they put them for the fan base to be and the fan base that already has kind of formed there. So that's the most exciting part for me.
Oh, for sure. I'm also very intrigued to see how they fill
Yeah,
those teams. And once again, does Hillary Knight have to move to a
I
different city?
know.
I hope for her sake that she doesn't have to.
I know. Leave her in one spot,
But
please.
also, if Chicago gets an expansion and we somehow get Hillary Knight, I'm not going to complain about that
That's
either.
yeah. We'll remember that. That's a valid excuse to have her move. Like, for me, I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Like if Chicago gets an expansion and I somehow get Hillary Knight or Sarah Nurse, I'm not complaining at
Exactly.
all.
There you go.
But it'll be fun.
Yeah,
I'm just ready for all. I need draft day. I need
I agree.
expansion city. I just give the info to us now.
Yes. Trust
PWHL.
me, the last couple, I'm like, I wish I had an answer. I don't know anything. I wish I did, but I've got nothing. So the day that we all find out will be the greatest, because then I'll just be like, oh my god, we have exactly what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening. I don't have to like worry about it or like try and figure out how they're gonna do it because they have a plan.
Right, then we'll just
So
have the plan.
yeah,
Um, Jumping away from the hockey world, because the Formula One world is back. We have
yeah,
cars on track again. We made it
woo,
through the not summer break, but summer break.
yep.
What are you thinking about this year? Because it's
I have
banana.
a lot of thoughts. Like I first the regulations, well, like pre Miami. Um, I watched Australia, and I was like, what are we doing? Literally, what are we doing? I remember they posted a graphic of like how many overtakes there were or whatever it was.
Right.
And I was like, that's not a flex, you guys. Like, I don't need the race leader to be changing every 2 laps.
Hmm.
In fact, I actually like when someone leads a race for like a majority of it and then you have to wait, like, I don't want to say it's been less exciting. I think it's been
Hmm.
more stressful because, and I think the drivers said the same thing, like, the way they have to adapt to how to drive these cars now is so different.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't want to say it's made the racing worse. It's just made it more intriguing.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's less exciting. I think it's like Miami was. I was locked in. I thought that one was very exciting. Um, I don't know. I'm still like undecided on it because I feel
Yeah.
like we haven't gotten a race where I'm like totally sold on like these regulations being amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because I mean we had like a couple of races and then we had a bunch of time off, and during this whole time off they had meetings of like, is
Yep.
Mercedes cheating or not? And so it's like we have a
Yeah.
few races, we have a giant break, everybody's bringing upgrades and things are changing from even the first couple of races. So we haven't had time to like get settled
Yeah.
in the new regs and what seems like the new regs out of
Exactly.
like summer break.
Yeah. I don't. I just. I don't know. I also like I so when I started watching F1, it was the only thing I had known before I watched was that Max won like every race.
Right.
Um, and since then, I've had 2 seasons where like a bunch of people won a bunch of races, and this year just Mercedes winning every single thing. I'm like, this is boring. Like I'm just gonna go into every race assuming Kimmy and or George are gonna win a race,
Yeah.
which like it's probably how it was when Max was doing it. I don't know because I wasn't watching at that point, but I was like, guys, I want to like, I like the hope of thinking my team could win a race. Like I would love to think that. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but like I think that's been the biggest. I don't say downfall, but I'm like, okay, another race. Mercedes is gonna win it.
Right.
Let's see, like, let's see who like rounds out the podium kind of thing at this rate. But um, yeah, I don't know. I think like once we get to the summer, like midway, maybe I'll feel better about it. But it still feels so up in the air to me because I'm like, we had 3 races where they were the same,
Yeah.
one where it's new, ish, and I'm still like not sold. But there's time.
No, I
There's
definitely
time.
agree. Um, and I definitely agree in the sense of like watching the same team. Like I'd rather see different drivers win. It
Yeah.
wasn't this past year, but it was what, like the second half of 2024 where it
Yeah,
was like
that's what I'm saying.
Carl's wins, Carl's, George, like
Yes.
everybody was
Everyone.
like, this is fantastic. I hate when it's
Like
just
one
one
team
team, and I'm
dominance.
like, all right, is this Kimmy and George? Or last
Yeah.
year, like, all right, is this Lando or Oscar? Like,
Yeah.
I know which team's gonna win it. Granted, I know going in that it's not gonna be my team because I'm fully delusional to be a Ferrari fan, but not delusional
You
to
know
not
what though? Like
a
I
good.
ironically I picked we did like predictions or like our like what
Mhm.
we think's gonna happen. I did pick Charles for drivers championship, and I was like, like Ferrari looked so good in testing. I was like, I believe this is the time. This is it.
Hey, you can believe in Charles. You just can't believe in
I
the
can't believe in Ferrari. That is true. But I
Charles is
was like,
fantastic.
I
It's
know.
the team.
I was like, but then that's the worst part is that he'll never leave. So I'm like, then you're never gonna win. Like then it's like, yeah. But I did. Well, I was like, this is the year. I have a feeling Ferrari's gonna put it together. And then like 2 races in, I was like, never mind. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I'm like, if Ferrari can stick high in the constructors, I think I'll be happy. Because
Yeah.
last year was just like such a crapshoot with the constructors. Not only with like McLaren running away with it, but like us losing to like Mercedes and Red
Yep.
Bull and everything. I'm like, if we could just stay high in constructors and
That's good enough.
consistently get on the podium somewhere,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it.
My favorite stat comes up all the time is that Carlos Sainz is the last Ferrari driver to win a race.
Yep.
And I was like, it's true, but how insane is that? That like Carlos, who hasn't been in the team for 2 years, or now his second season, it'll happen.
Oh, yes.
It'll hopefully pan out. I'm hoping because Charles deserves
I
better,
want
but
more chaos. Not
also
in the
that.
like unsafe sense, but just like give me a
Yeah,
McLaren win, give me a Max win, I want different wins,
yeah.
which I
I
think
think that
you're
makes
right.
it more exciting to watch too, because like
Yes.
you never know. At that point, you never know what's gonna happen. Like I'm coming in
Yes.
every weekend being like, okay, Mercedes.
Kimmy or George.
Yeah, like what am I gonna do? You know.
I
So
do love that it's Kimmy though. Like
I
that's
was
what I'm eating at
I
George.
literally had said to Ken's, I was like, how funny would it be if, and like funny, like if this happened to me, I would be really mad. But I was like, in the outside looking in, as someone who's not a Mercedes fan or a George fan, I was like, how funny would it be if this little kid came in and somehow won his first driver's championship before you, who was behind Lewis, got to be like the a first driver, and then Kimmy's the one that's like, I'll take that, thank you.
It's kind of like if you're the younger sibling, your favorite older sibling goes to college, and
Yep.
then your parents get a dog.
Yes, that's literally it. I was like, that would be the most insane thing to be like, oh yeah, I've been in F1. It's been in F1 for the same time as Lando. I know he was with Williams for a little bit, but I was just like, yeah, Kimmy in his second year is just, you know, if he does that, I was like, that would be crazy. So,
But also love that for Kimmy because the amount
I
of
know.
flack he was getting last year, I'm like,
Yeah,
one, he is a literal child. Like,
he
let's
is.
not
He's,
hate on a literal child.
yeah,
And also, like, it's a game. Let's
it
not
is.
hate on a literal child. But I would love that for him
I know, I
because
think
he
it'd be
gets so
awesome.
many
Also,
haters.
again, like, how passionate Italy is with F1, and I know like they're very big on Ferrari, but like having an Italian driver win it, I can't even imagine like the reception he would get for it to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
So
sure. And that's also why I don't hate when Kimmy does win, because if there's one thing that I do love at the end of a race, it's hearing the Italian national anthem.
yep,
And I'm like, I still get that with
yep,
Kimmy. Let's go.
it's so good. I know. That's why I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Okay. So yeah, it's been an interesting one, but I also feel like I don't have a grasp on the season yet because it still feels
Yeah.
new.
It's new, it's
So
weird, and there's
it's
already just been so much drama
yeah,
in like these first couple of races. Like we already like people are leaving, freaking GP going to
yep,
McLaren, and a couple of you like we've just had so much drama that I'm like, I feel like it's the okay, 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 okay.
yep.
I'm like,
Like
what is
what's
happening?
going on? Yeah. So I don't know. We shall see. I'm not loving it as like based on the last two I've watched, but I'm hoping it gets a little more interesting. Slash like the regulations are figured out
Yeah.
a little in a couple races because like I also if I was a driver I wouldn't want to have to relearn how to drive a car because all that
Yeah.
stuff's changed. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, that part's insane. I hope that they at least change the regulations enough because I know that they like with the Behrman crash out from a couple of races ago
yeah,
and some of the like safety things where I'm like, okay, you don't have to like appease everyone, but you just need to at least change
keep
the
them safe.
regulations enough to keep these drivers safe.
Yep, yep. Like again, you think that'd be bare minimum,
Yeah.
but that's like the top priority. So
Yeah, I'm like, you do not need to like bend over backwards to make Max Verstappen happy because who knows, he might leave
impossible.
anyway.
Yeah,
Um, but at least like try to keep these drivers safe
I
because
agree.
some of these like crash outs or like almost crash outs, like there was one, I think it was like Colapinto behind Lawson, where like
That was
the
crazy.
that was insane, but I'm like,
Yeah,
what is happening?
I get so nervous. So yeah, I think that should be the main concern is just making sure they're all safe.
Hmm.
And then like figuring out to how to optimize the car the best way, but I guess we'll see. I don't
Yeah.
really know. I'm just along for the ride.
And it'll be a good ride because we've got a couple of weeks and then we'll be having some more
In the
races.
thick of it. Yeah. That's how we like it. I'll take it.
Absolutely. Well, that is all the time that we have for this week. Bree, thank you so much for coming on and
Thanks
talking
for having
hockey and
me.
racing with us.
Of course.
It was so much fun.